Okay, so I have a lot of things that I don't have a ton to say on, but just a lot of little points that I was going to bring. And one of the things, sorry, we just put Reese to bed and Chris is getting distracted. So anyways, some of the things that I want to talk about was business hours, because I think that that is the biggest thing where people have a tendency to have an issue with time management is they're not creating business hours. So this was something that I had to do from the start because I worked full time. I didn't want Beachbody to interrupt family time. That was really important to me, is that, I'm starting this as something to benefit my family and not necessarily to take away. So what I had to do is create business hours. And so for me, I had to look and see, what times work best. So for me, it was after Reese went to bed at 9 o'clock, or it would be during her nap time if I was home on a Wednesday or if I was home on a weekend. And then usually if I was at work and I had a little bit of a break, I would try and do my check-in with my challenge group and what I could when I was there. But I didn't get a whole lot done at work because at my office, we don't have a lunch break. We don't really have any breaks. So I wasn't getting a whole lot done there. So I really had to kind of sit and look at, okay, when do I want to work my business in order for this to work for me and to not interrupt my family time. So I created what was called business hours. And for me, like I said, it was at 9 o'clock. So from 9 o'clock until I finished whatever I was wanting to do at that time, that would be when I considered my Beachbody time. And so if I was running a challenge group, what I would do with a challenge group is I would usually wake up in the morning and check in with a group in the morning. And then I would check in with a group in the middle of the day. So if I had a lunch or if I had a break with patients, I would try and check in the group then, and then I would check in the group at nighttime at 9 o'clock. So I would not be checking in with the challenge group all day long. And so I think a lot of times, and especially our group right now, is 100 people in it. So if I sat and checked every single notification, I would constantly be interrupting my family time, and that's not what I want to do. So what I do is I will check it 3 times a day. And I will pop in and I'll do my post. So if I have my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner, I wanted to post about it, or I did my workout, I'd pop in, do my post, leave the group. So I think a lot of times coaches run into, they want to check every single notification. Don't do that. Because you don't have to, and you don't want your challengers or even your coaches for that. You don't want them to think that you're on demand, because you're not. This is a business where you're doing this in your free time and you make your own hours. So if you're checking every time you get a notification, which I don't even get, my notifications don't even pop up on my phone. I have to physically go into Facebook and see if I have a notification. So I suggest that for everybody, especially if you're having issues with feeling like it's interrupting something like family time, or you feel like you have to look at your phone or you have to answer a notification, just take them off of there. So that's one recommendation. And then, when it comes to your business hours, I always tell coaches is, never feel like you need to answer a question right away, which this is one thing that Brooke told me is people will respect you more in your time if you let them know when you do answer their question, if it's not something immediate. And most likely these questions that coaches are asking you or challengers are asking you it does not need an immediate response. So don't feel like until you hit that business hour that you really need to respond to that. And so I always, most of my challengers and coaches know, hey, sorry, I was having family time earlier. Sorry, I'm just now getting back to you, but here's the answer to your question. And a lot of times when it comes to your coaches or challengers, you often find out that they will find their own answer before you even answer it, which is also really nice too, because a lot of times the answer is right there. They just need to go look for it. But the easiest thing to do is always to just, I'm going to ask my coach first, or I'll ask, if my coach doesn't answer, I guess I'll ask the challenge group. And usually the challenge group will answer them immediately. But that's my biggest thing that I want to suggest to you guys is to look at your schedule throughout the day and think, when do I want to set aside some time? And like I tell coaches, at least an hour a day when you're first getting started. When do I want to set aside this time? Do I want to do 30 minutes in the morning? Do I want to do 30 minutes at night? Do I want to break it up and do 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at lunch, 20 minutes at night? For me, I was the most productive not breaking it up, because once my focus got going and I got going, I felt like I was kind of on a roll at that point. And I like nighttime. I like after 9 o'clock. I'm a night person. And most of the people that I'm talking to and starting conversations with, they're online at 9 o'clock. People are online right now because your kids are asleep. You're sitting around watching TV. You don't have other activities going on, or, even Chris and I, before we started Beachbody, we would both kind of at the end of the night after Reese went to bed, get on our phones and look at Facebook and look what happened through the day and kind of settle into bed at night. So that was kind of our routine. So I find that I get a lot of interaction at nighttime compared to if I was getting up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and trying to work Beachbody, because you're not getting a lot of people wanting to message you back in the morning. For me, we're like in a rush. I'm trying to get Reese ready. I'm trying to get ready. I'm trying to get out the door. So I get better interaction at night. So that's the business hours that work the best for me. Is anybody who is running their own challenge groups, are you guys checking every notification? Do you find yourself answering every question like right away? I see Jennifer with a big smile. Okay, stop doing that. I know it's hard, but you really, it does not make you a great coach because you give an immediate answer. It makes you a great coach because you're providing them with this awesome group that already has the information there, and then you're going and answering them later. So if somebody asks you a question, never wait like 24 hours or 2 days before answering them. Try to get them answered. And if you're on vacation, I always let people know, hey, I'm on vacation. Ask the page, do a Google search. If you can't find something, please message me. I'll try to get back with you at nighttime whenever, everybody goes to bed. So, just like during the cruise, I still got questions from people, and I let those questions sit. I let my messages sit. I don't even open them up, because unless I see that first sentence that says, I need help now, or I know it's something I need something help with now, I will not open the message up until my business hours start.
Then if you do, it gets lost. You open it up and you keep getting more messages, it gets pushed further down, you forget about the question.
Yeah. And on average, I get anywhere from 30 to 50 messages a day. So, and if you messages where I get the most behind. So if I open a message up and it's family time and I answer it, and they send me something back, and then we go back and forth. And then the next thing I know, I've taken 10, 15 minutes to answer one question. So that's my big, suggestion is let your messages sit there unless you feel like it needs an immediate response. And most of the time, it does not need an immediate response at all. Let it sit there until you've got into your designated Beachbody time, okay? All right, so that's kind of my challenge for you guys, is to create business hours. And for me, my business hours were, when I first got started, I didn't have a lot of time to work with. As your business advances, and of course, as your income advances, then you're going to have to look at it and kind of readjust and say, okay, I need to allow a little more time to be working on my Beachbody, because now it's not just me, but now I have a team of coaches that are doing what I'm doing, and I need to also be helping them. So I had to advance my business hours. And when I did this, what happened was I started cutting my hours at work. And fortunately, with my job, they allowed me to do that. Now, if they didn't allow me to do that, I 100% still could have done this. I would have been losing a little sleep at night probably. But with my work, I was able to kind of cut a day every couple, well, at the one point it became every 3 months I was cutting a day, and then another day, and another day, until here I am not working at all. So that's my biggest suggestion is creating your business hours and everybody kind of looking at their schedule and saying, okay, when do I want to designate this time to Beachbody? So when you're doing your challenge groups, still do your post as normal, but just go in, post it really quick and leave the group. I do that all the time. And actually I did it, I don't know how many times today. I will pop in and post my workout or post my food. Before dinner, I'll take a picture, post it, and then I'll go sit down and eat dinner with the family. I won't sit and try to scroll through and look at everybody's Facebook or everybody's feed in the group. Okay, the next thing I was going to talk to you about is time management. And time management, I actually did a whole team call on this. So I'm going to show you guys where to access the information about time management. But the biggest thing that I see coaches get caught up in is Facebook scrolling. Just sitting and looking through Facebook and not really doing anything productive, just commenting and liking on people's stuff, doing nothing that moves your business forward. So for me, when I first got started, one thing I asked Brooke, I said, how do you look through your Facebook? I'm starting to get a lot of Facebook friends now that I'm adding and building relationships. And I'm getting to the point where I'm not getting through my news feed, or it's taking me a long time. And she said, I don't do it. And I was like, what do you mean you don't do it? And she's like, yeah, I don't really scroll through Facebook. And I was like, okay, well, what are you doing? So I learned that I really had to be productive, in order to be productive when I was online, because this was my business hours, I wanted to make the most of it. I had to create what was called a power hour. And with a power hour, that's where I am creating a list of things that I feel like is going to move my business forward. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to show you guys where to find this info at. Okay, so this is the team page. For the ones of you that don't know, you click photos, and then from photos, you click albums, and there's just like this plethora of information here. But what I'm going to go to is I'm actually going to keep doing the arrow key. And this is more towards the beginning because I posted this a while ago. So I'm on the albums 37 through 45. Okay, there's 58 albums. So you can click on time management. And then on time management, I have things that talk about the power hour. So this is an example of a list that you can create. And then I've also talked about how to schedule posts on Postcron. For me, Postcron, the scheduling site, saved my life when I was working full time. I often have people think that I was online all day. They're like, how do you do it? Like, how are you online when you're at work? And I'm at work all the time. And this is how I did it. I used Postcron. I use a scheduling site. I scheduled things the night before. I even have some coaches that take Sunday night and they schedule things for the entire week, and they get it all out of their hair. So any kind of post that goes off into it, and for me, team training is all scheduled post. My challenge groups is all scheduled post. The free groups that I do, all scheduled posts. I can even schedule posts to my personal page if I don't have time to post to my personal page during the day. So Postcron is awesome. There's other scheduling sites out there too, but this is the one that I prefer and that I use most often. And then I also have a tracker. It's called a Power of Threes tracker. So the Power of Threes tracker, if you click on it, it's going to send you to a Google Doc. And this is the most basic tracker that I could come up with. And I know Brooks created a really fabulous tracker. It's very long and extensive. So especially for new coaches, I wanted to create something kind of short and really easy for everybody to try and kind of start with. So for me, it was kind of your weekly power of threes. So it was friending 3 new people a day, messaging 3 new people a day, inviting to a challenge group 3 new people a day, talking to 3 new people a day about coaching, and then doing at least 3 follow-ups with people. And then of course your post each day, you want to post at least 3 times, something being personal, something being health and fitness, and something being Beachbody related. And Ashley, I know that you're just getting started and you're doing training tomorrow. So a lot of this will start to make sense as you begin your training. So it might be a little confusing. Right?
Okay.
And then I really suggest, if you guys haven't listened to my team call on Power Hour, to listen to that, because that's where I sit and break down exactly what I do in my Power Hour, okay? This Power Hour is what is going to move your business forward. Now, each of us is going to create a different list. So your list may vary or be a little different to mine, but the list that I created in my Power Hour is what helps my business move forward. It helps me stay on track, on focus. It helps me with my time management. It helps me know that in that hour that I'm, using my business, I'm actually doing things that is going to move it forward. I'm not Facebook scrolling. Facebook scrolling will kill you guys. Don't do it.
Use it as your reward. Like after you've done everything and after you've hit your Power Hour and everything else, use the Facebook scrolling as your reward. Like that's, what you get to do when you've finished everything else.
Yep. And
a lot of top coaches do that.
I do it sometimes, but yeah, it's when I have like nothing else to do. And I've even created lists, and I have a video on how to create lists, but lists are really awesome. So for me, like I like to be able to comment on my personally sponsored coaches post. I want to be able to support them. So I actually have a group that's called PS Coaches, and I can sit and scroll through the news feed of only my personally sponsored coaches, which is awesome. So another great thing for coaches getting started is you could create a list of potential challengers, people that you want to invite to your next challenge. And say you want to see what they're posting, if they ever post anything health or fitness, or you just want to comment on their page, because when you do go to message them, you want to be able to have hey, I seen your post the other day about, your kids, blah, 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 whatever. So you can still be watching their news feed without seeing the clutter of everybody else's. And sometimes, even towards the beginning, when I had my challenge groups, when they were smaller, I would do a list of challengers. And so that way I could go and support my challengers even on their personal page, and I could see if they were posting anything about the challenge group. That way I could go in and comment. So the list, creating a list on Facebook has been great. And really, I can show you guys really quick. It's pretty easy. So, you have to do it from a desktop. It shows friends there on the side. And you just click more. And then you click create a list. And, type in whatever. And then I type in who I want on that list. So I can put Chris in there. I can put, Jessica in there. And then click create. And then I could save it to my favorites. Right now I don't have it in my favorites, so let me go back to friends. Here's my Hey Dude list. And then I can sit and I'll just see Chris and Jessica's post. Okay, that's it in my news feed. Can you go in there? Sorry, Reese is having a breakdown right now. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about time management? I know Ashley's just getting started, and she's at the overwhelming point where she's getting all the information right now. We've all been there, right? Tell her that's normal, so that's okay. I freaked out a couple of times when I first got started, but training starts for her tomorrow, so it's exciting. Does anybody else have any questions with time management, or do they feel like it's a struggle for them right now? Or you're trying to find balance?
Well, I stay home all day, so I feel like I could do it all day long, but now you're saying not to.
Well, I mean, if you can do it all day long, that's fine. And if you don't find it being an issue, then that's fine. I mean,
okay.
I'm not going to stop you from doing it all day long. And really, and I told Chris, if before I didn't have a job and Reese was at home, I could sit and do it all day long. Yeah. I mean, that's what I do on the days I take her to preschool. But when I first got started and I had a full-time job, it was a struggle, and I needed to make sure that my time was productive. So yeah, I mean, if you want to do it all day long, I'm not going to stop you. As long as you don't find yourself like, being stressed out about it or feeling like it's interrupting family time or things like that. Okay.
I'm
Rachel,
still
how about you? I know you are full-time. How's it going?
Yeah, I work pretty much 5 days a week, and I'm still struggling with finding time. Like I try to answer stuff on lunch breaks if I can, because I know that when I get home, it's a struggle. Because as soon as I get home, it's like, bam, I start cooking dinner, and then I let my stomach settle for like maybe 30 minutes, and then I work out. And then after that, it's like, hey, guess what? It's time to go to bed. It's like shower and then prep for the next day. And I'll try to sit in bed and answer questions and stuff, and I can't really. It's just hard. It's hard to do that.
For me, it is going to have sacrifice, especially when you're first getting started, because I did sacrifice sleep at times, for sure, especially when my challenge groups really started going and I was trying to figure myself out as a coach. There was definitely sacrifice, and I cut out a lot of the things. So I didn't watch, I stopped watching TV totally. I stopped reading my books. Those were my things that I did at nighttime. I took away some of my sleep, and the things that I didn't want Beachbody to interrupt was family time, my own fitness, and cooking time. And then of course it couldn't interrupt my job because I needed my job. So those were the things that I made on the top of my list. And then from there, I try to see, okay, those are the things I don't want to interrupt. Where can I fit in the Beachbody time? And for you, it may be 20 minutes extra in the morning, and maybe 20 minutes at lunch, and maybe 20 minutes, at nighttime, or whenever that 30 minutes you're letting your food settle, that may be a good time then too. So
yeah, definitely that 30 minutes I do try to sit at least on my phone. I'm trying to go through some stuff, but it's like, that's why I always feel so behind on the training stuff, because that's what I have trouble finding time for. I can answer questions and like try to network with people, but that's the kind of stuff that I feel like I'm struggling with more than anything.
Have you watched the Power Hour team call yet, or have you created a Power Hour?
I don't know. I have not created one, and I've watched it, but
so
it's still a struggle.
That's probably your biggest struggle, is that during the times you're doing things, but are they really productive in moving your business forward?
Right.
And that's what you got to, and with messages take me the longest time. So typically messages go at the end of my list. So if I want to start 5 new conversations or friend 5 new people that night, I'm going to do that first. And then I'm going to answer questions to coaches or challengers last, because that takes most of my time. And, those are things that I need to do, but it's not really going to move my business forward that day.
Right.
So that would be, creating a list, like a list to strictly work off of and to sit and check mark. Okay, I did this. Okay, I did this. And, with the training, you're almost done with that. So during the training time, it's a little more of a struggle. And really, I don't even talk about Power Hour until people do the second phase of training. And because that's when they realize that, oh, okay, well, I'm having issues with time management. I'm getting behind. So I really don't talk about that until the second half, because when you're doing training, your focus is kind of doing your program, doing your own health and fitness, doing your training, and then, inviting when you can. And so that's kind of what your first, 2 weeks to a month as a coach is going to look like. You're not going to really have a lot of structure. And then once you get past training, you get into that second month of coaching, then you should be able to create more structure and really have a sound Power Hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're through both the trainings, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So things should get better from there.
Okay. I'm getting a little bit more interest, but it's like I'll get people who are interested and then they don't end up following through. So I'm trying to not get too bummed about that.
That's okay. Move on. Ask more people. That's the biggest thing. For me,
I actually had a client that said that she bought it, and I swear she's lying to me. She keeps saying that she bought it and that it came in, but Beachbody has no record of her. They don't have her name, her email, nothing. There's nothing under me. She called and she was like, oh, she text messaged me, said they have my email, but not my name. And I was like, they said that they don't have your name. I contacted customer service. Like, I talked to people. She's not answering text messages now, so it's kind of hilarious.
Maybe she ordered it off Amazon and didn't realize.
She followed the link, she said, so. I just don't believe it.
My biggest suggestion on that is moving on from those people, putting them
Yeah.
on a list, and just, I mean, for me, my goal was 60 a month. So if you're only asking 10 or you're only asking 20, your numbers aren't big enough.
Right.
So, you know, you don't want to, if somebody doesn't follow through and you followed up with them, I usually follow up with somebody twice, and then I put them on my list and I follow up with them the next month and then the next month.
Okay.
So I move on from them. I don't, I never count somebody like, oh, okay, they're definitely going to do it. I never count on somebody until they officially submit that link and process their order. Then I'm like, okay, they're in, we're doing the challenge group. And until then, I just kind of move on from people and make sure I always follow up.
And they said at the thing we just went to on the cruise that, you know, 1 in 30 was one girl, is what she said. You know, for every 30 people you invite, one may come around. So it's to be in numbers.
Especially at first.
Yeah.
Especially at first, until they realize what you're doing and you become more consistent. It's kind of slow going. But your consistency 110% pays off. And I've heard a lot of my newer coaches here that are hitting above Success Club 10 at this point are saying, you know what, I struggled for months and I'm finally consistently hitting Success Club 10 the last couple months. And I know it's my consistency that's paying off.
And it just happened. I mean, I messaged a girl maybe a year and a half ago when we first started this, you know, touched base with her actually earlier this month, you know, and it's been over a year, and she just messaged me about the webinar.
Okay.
People watch you, and they may watch you for a year. We watched Brooke for 6 months probably, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everything you do is just breadcrumbing and making connections,
All right.
planting seeds.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to coaching, you know, I still have, even though I do post all the time about, you know, not having to be a fitness professional. I just had somebody message me the other day and say, you know, well, I don't feel like I know enough to be a coach. And she's already done the 21-day fix. She's done PIO, and she's done Insanity, and she drinks Shakeology. And I'm like, girl, when I did this, I hadn't done anything, zero, zilch. Hadn't even done a challenge group. And they feel like they don't know enough. And I really didn't know anything. So that's why I went live today to kind of do a video of, you know, explaining to people, hey, I didn't know anything at all. I hadn't even done that. I didn't even really know what Beachbody was. I was just, you know, intrigued by what my coach was doing. And I liked, you know, what it, you know, what the company stood for. I felt like it was something I could stand behind because I believe in those things. And so I was attracted to that. And the same with Jessica. I mean, Jessica, I asked her about coaching and I didn't even know what the heck I was really talking about, but I was excited about it. And, you know, I told her what I did know and she was on board right away. So, you know, you're going to have those coaches that are like Jessica that are like, okay, heck yeah, I'm going to do this. But you're going to have, I mean, I think she's really maybe 1 in 100, but most people are going to want to kind of watch you and see what this is all about before, you know, they decide to jump on board. And I think the webinars really, I think now that we're doing the webinars, that really helps people understand and grasp what a coach is. Because so many think, you know, especially, you know, when they look at us and they see what we're doing on social media, they think, oh my gosh, like I could never do that. They already do so much and they already know so much about coaching. They know so much about the programs. But I think, you know, people just don't realize that most of us, you know, me, I started not knowing anything, but majority of us as coaches started as customers, you know, customers ourselves that was just attracted by the community that we had in the challenge group and what the program did, and they just want to pay it forward. Okay, so the next few things that I don't have too much to say about, those were my biggest things, but Super Sunday is Super Saturday is what it's really called, but Louisville, for some reason, we always do it on Sunday, so we call it Super Sunday in our area. But it's going to be at 4th Street Live for the local coaches, which we're really, really excited about. Now I'm on the market council, so I'm actually able to help out and really participate more actively. And so we're really excited about that. We hope to get a lot of our team there. But if you're not local, you can go to the coach online office and look in the FAQs and look up Super Saturday. And there usually is a location that's near you. Not always, but most of the coaches, I think they've said they found a location either in their town or within 30 minutes. So that's pretty cool. Jennifer, you're going to a local location, right? Awesome. And I would love for the coaches who do go to other locations to take pictures and videos and share with us, because it's neat to see what other areas are doing. Where's the location you're going to?
Just by Tampa.
By Tampa.
Wow.
See, I wonder, Lindsay Matway's in Florida.
Yeah, she's close by.
Is she? So
Yeah,
she may be
like
at
about
that one.
30 minutes from me.
Oh, awesome. So that may be her location where she does a Super Saturday. So
Maybe we should drive to Tampa.
I know.
Yes.
Tampa. If that is her location, that's probably going to be a massive event. So
awesome.
That's really neat. So sometimes you can be in a location where there's a top 10 coach, and when there is a location there's a top 10 coach, it's going to be massive. So that's exciting. Okay. And we think it's really important for coaches to get to the events. Sometimes you can't always get to the bigger events like the Success Club trips, like the cruises, or to Summit and going to Nashville. There's no reason that people can't get to Super Saturday if it's local, it's near you. Go and see what the community is about. Meet other coaches. They don't have to be on our team. It is an awesome thing to network with other coaches too and learn from them.
And you'll hear all the top coaches. I mean, they say the same thing. It's super important to get to these events just to get a taste of what the community's like, to be an environment of such positivity and stuff. And so you'll hear all the top coaches definitely drill that.
Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the updates that we found out on the cruise. So I posted about on the team page today, there's a new app that Beachbody's now released for the Beachbody On Demand. So for the people who have a club membership and have the On Demand, it's really pretty cool because you can download up to 7 workouts on your phone. So if you're in an area that you don't have Wi-Fi, you can still play your workouts, which is really nice. Because there's some people who live way out in the cut, like we do, and their internet may not be that great. So we can actually download a workout to our phone now, if you have the room on it, which I don't. And then the app also allows you to rewind really easily. So before you used to have to sit and try to move the little dot, and now you can just touch the screen and it'll move back to the next thing. So if you missed a workout or missed something that Autumn showed you how to do, or whoever, Shanti, then you can easily go back to it. Anything else exciting about the app that you can remember?
No. Well, go ahead. You're going to get to that.
Okay, so the next thing is the new program release, which is Country Heat. And guys, I'm so excited about this. If you're a country music fan, if you're not a country music fan, doesn't matter. It's fun because I actually got to do a sneak peek of the workout. They only let 100 of us do it. We couldn't film it, very top secret, so we weren't allowed to film it. I was kind of bummed about that. But when I first got started, the first 15 minutes was kind of slow, and you're learning the moves. And I'm like, okay, I'm checking my heart rate watch, and I'm like, I'm going to have to do something else. I'm hardly burning anything. Well, then after that, she got into pairing up the moves and moving faster. And then when she started doing that, I started dripping sweat. So at about 40 minutes, I burnt 350 calories. When I'm doing Insanity Max 30, at 30 minutes, I burn about 300 calories. So it averages out to be about the same as Max 30, which is awesome. And I don't know why, with size, I don't really get that calorie burn, but with Country Heat, I was sweating big time and got the same calorie burn as Insanity Max 30. And they said they're seeing in the test groups, they're seeing the exact same results from Country Heat as they do from all the other programs. And to me, I think it's because it's the nutrition. I mean, it's the fixed portions. You can't out-train a bad diet. That's 80% of it. So I think Country Heat's going to be a huge program. It's going to release after or during Summit, which is going to be in July. So that will be the release of it.
Lots of good music.
Lots of good music. I'll actually probably do a big team-wide just test group of it by itself. Usually I mix it in, but I'm really, really excited about this one. I think I'm going to make it solo and just do it with a whole team and do a big group. So, and that it'll release right when I'm due. So for me, it'll be a really great post-pregnancy workout, I think, if they'll let me work out. Okay, and then they're also doing a Beachbody like real world, which is really cool. So it's 20 trainers in their 20s that are competing to be the next top trainer. So I don't know if they're just going to be posting this on the Beachbody side, I guess, but you'll get to sample the workouts, and then we get to choose what workout we like best, and that's how we pick the trainers. So us as coaches actually pick the next trainer.
I think it's going to be on the on-demand app. You're going to watch the show on that's the way I took it. But as that comes out, we'll let you know for sure.
Okay, I'm trying to talk fast because I only have like 3 minutes. So the Elite Top 10, they did a really, really, really awesome thing that we chose to sit through. We didn't have to go to this, but me, Jessica, Chris, we all chose to sit through it, and we sat through the whole thing. It was an hour, and it was fabulous. So I posted the highlights on the team page, and I also posted a YouTube link to the full thing. If you have a chance to sit down and watch the full thing, I suggest it. But it was just really good. I mean, it's coaches that are advancing in their business, and coaches that have been doing it for not long, coaches that have been doing it for 7 years. And one of the coaches has been doing it for 7 years. I posted the highlight on the team page, but it really touched me because, you know, she asked, how did Beachbody change your life? And she talked about how, you know, her daughter's into nutrition now. Her son wants to be an entrepreneur because mommy's an entrepreneur, and how she retired her husband, and now her husband's home. And, you know, so she talks about, you know, not only what it's done for her with her own health and fitness, but for her whole entire family. So I thought that was really neat. Anyways, if you guys get a chance and listen to it. The webinar is Tuesday. Everybody please be inviting, telling everybody about it. I actually did a team call last month on how to promote the webinar. So I will post in the comments. Once I post the recording to this feed, I'll post in the comments how to promote the webinar and what I suggest. I'm not going to go back through that. And then the National Wake Up Call is tomorrow. It's at 11 o'clock. It's with Brittany Leggett. No, it's not. It's with Chelsea Pearson. Sorry, Chelsea Pearson. I met her last year on a leadership retreat. She's amazing. She is a coach that is a big earner that's very successful. And I think that it's going to be a really great call. So if you can't listen to it at 11 o'clock, typically I listen to it on podcast and listen to the recording. Or you can even listen to the playback by calling, but it only stays on there for a week. So I'll try and post all that info about the callback. And then last thing I was going to talk about is I am planning to do a free group team-wide in April. I haven't set the date yet, but it's probably going to be a 5-day fixate group because we actually haven't done that ourselves yet. But we are planning to do a free group in April. I just kind of decided that this morning. So, all right, we got 60 seconds left. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay. Well, that's all I got, and I will post a recording tomorrow. And then, like I said, in the comments, I'm going to post how to promote the webinar and what I do as far as suggesting inviting people to the webinar on Tuesday night. And, yeah, I think that's it. And then I'll also, I may do a comment on the time management, so that way, on the album, so that way you guys don't have to go searching for it. It'll just be in the news feed of our team page. Okay? All right. Well, you guys all have a good night.
Yeah.
Bye.